Well, I don't know whether anybody else joined me because my internet's gone off. So I had to start all over again, and I don't know how long this will stay on. So maybe I'll be talking to myself. I don't know. It's just gone off. As you know, I've been having PC difficulties for quite some time now, and this is what's been happening. It's just been going off. So unless anybody finds me and joins me. Oh, one person has joined me. Hello, one person. Hi, Diane. My internet cut off, so I had to start all over again. Oh, you're here, Jill. Yeah, my internet just went. It just cut off and it went. It just went. Boop. So whether it'll do it again, I don't know, because this is what it's been doing for the last umpteen weeks. It's been just cutting off. Yeah. And see. Yeah, it's. I don't know what it is. It's my computer. Oh, I thought he died ages ago. Have they just said he's died now? Yeah, can we do some more thumbs up, please? Yeah, I thought Richard Summons had died years back. He disappeared, didn't he? About 10 years ago. Uh, well, like I say, I thought he died long ago. I remember seeing an article somewhere. Somebody was asking his brother where he was, and his brother wouldn't answer. Yeah, there was a big thing about a few years back saying, is he still alive or is he dead? And the general consensus of opinion was that he'd already died, yeah. And then other people said he was a recluse and he'd hold himself up. Yeah, we're back. How long? I don't know. Before it cuts off again, I don't know. This is what it's been doing, my computer. It just keeps cutting off in the middle of everything. 1 minute I'm here, next minute, gone. So I can't guarantee that I can stay on forever. I've done very well. I've had about a few days where it's not cut out. And then today it just decided to cut out, yeah. We can't solve the problem. We've fiddled with all the wires. We've done everything we can do. And there's, on a Monday night, there's a guy comes to our local pub that is a bit of a computer whiz. So if it starts doing it again, I might go round and take my little box thing round to the pub on Monday and see whether he can solve what's wrong with it. My son twiddled all the wires and fiddled with all the wires the other day, and we thought we'd sorted it, but obviously we didn't. So if I go again, if I start freezing and doing whatever, I've probably disappeared. And if I go again, then I'm not coming back. My provider, I don't know, to be quite honest with you. My son deals with all that sort of stuff. Apparently, it's not an internet issue because they're still on upstairs with the internet and we share. It's something to do with my box or my wiring or something. I don't know whether it's a dodgy wire or what it is that suddenly disconnects itself. And it's just one of them things that I will never get to the bottom of it. I might even have to buy a new box. I don't know. I actually bought an external hard drive the other day so I can transfer everything over off this PC just in case it crashes altogether and I lose everything. Because that's what happened last time. I lost all my patterns and my photos and everything the last time my PC crashed. So I don't want to do that again because I've got quite a few patterns stored on here without backup. I don't understand that cloud thing or whatever it is you're supposed to back things up to. I'm a complete utter geek when it comes to anything to do with computers. So if I go off again, sorry people, I will have gone off again. Oh dear. I won't be bothered coming back again. I hope I can get it sorted. It's just so annoying not knowing what it is. We've cleared the cache, we've cleared the cookies, we've defragged it, we've done everything known to man, and it still keeps happening. Some days it just goes off 3 or 4 times before I can do anything. I'm trying to read my emails or something daft and it just keeps going off, going off, going off. But for the last 2 or 3 days, it stayed on and I thought, oh, we've cured it. But I shouldn't speak too soon, should I? Obviously, it's an intermittent fault. And they're the worst kind to find, intermittent faults. So I forgot what we were talking about before we went. I could see you all saying when I came back, I could see you all saying, we're frozen, but I couldn't do anything. Mm. Extra drive or E drive. My main is a C drive, yeah. It just keeps going off. I don't know what's wrong with it. It's either a faulty wire or it's a faulty box. I'm not sure which. They don't build things to last anymore. I've had this box about 18 months, 2 years. They probably call it old now, don't they? At one time, the other one, the tower, had that for about 10 years before that one could put it on me. But nowadays, nothing lasts. Built-in obsolescence, they call it, don't they? At one time, if you bought a washing machine or a fridge freezer or something, you got years and years out of it, didn't you? And now, if something goes wrong with a washing machine and you say it's new, it's 2 years old, they go, no, it's old. Do they expect people to have that kind of money to keep replacing things? We don't. No, she's around and about on Facebook. She just doesn't seem to want to come on here anymore. I know she's not been well. She's had a cough for ages and ages. But I think she's gone off us. I don't think she wants to come on. But if you want her, she's on Facebook. Yeah, there's always something. And when you're on a budget, it's hard for people. 50, yeah, not the washer I left behind, the washer I had before that. Oh, you're not on Facebook then? Yeah, sadly, you won't be able to get hold of Kaz then if you're not on Facebook. That's the only place she seems to appear on these days. She used to message me now and again, but I think she's got off me. She doesn't anymore. She's not been on for weeks on here. I know she was never on much because she used to work on a Sundays, but she did used to pop on occasionally, but now I haven't seen her for weeks. Yeah, I know things used to be made to last, didn't they? But nowadays it's just built in obsolescence, like you said. Things don't last at all. I mean, my first microwave lasted me about 10 years, yeah. And then after that, I had about 4 because they'd last about a couple of years and then they'd be gone, yeah. Well, I don't buy new much clothing wise, except for underwear. I won't buy second-hand underwear, obviously. Oh, phones. Mobile phones don't last 2 minutes. And they're so expensive those days. The toilet paper stand. Oh, did he have a paddy whack? Did he have a moment? Yeah, well, you see, that's it. You buy a new one, Diane, and it'll probably last you 2 years if you're lucky. This phone's about, it's not a very brilliant phone. I refuse to pay a lot of money for a phone. I haven't got one of those that you pay bills with or anything like that. He had trouble with the doorknob. So he lost his temper. Lost his temper with the doorknob, did he? When we first moved in our house, not this house, my house in Prestwich, it had a gas fridge, would you believe, that the lady left behind? Yeah, gas fridge. I never even thought one existed, a gas fridge. It was brilliant though. It had a top like that that looked like, these American fridges. She left it behind when she moved out. It was huge as well. Huge fridge. Very small ice box bit, yeah. Oh dear, what can the matter be? Poor old lady's locked in the lavatory. She was there from Monday till Saturday. Nobody knew she was there. In that, but in your case, it was a 4-year-old. Oh dear. My son got locked in a toilet in Athens. We were with a group, a party of about 20 of us, and we thought he'd gone off with another member of the group. We didn't know he was locked in the toilet of the cafe in Athens. We were panicking when we found out he wasn't with these people that we thought he was with. And the coach kept saying, well, you better find him because I've got to go. Otherwise, you'll miss the connection and you'll miss your flight. He said, I can't, you know, stay here while you find him. Um, otherwise we'll have to leave you here and you'll have to make your own way to the airport. We were like, oh my God. Anyway, luckily we found him. And he was like, you left me, you left me. We didn't leave him, he was locked in the loo. I didn't know he'd locked himself in the toilet, did I? So we nearly lost him in Greece by the Parthenon. I don't know what we'd have done because we didn't have any spare money. And it was the days before credit cards and stuff like that. All we had was a few, Greek, whatever it was at the time. You had different, it's all euros now, isn't it? But it was all different currency back in the day. I can't remember what it was for Greece. But we only had a few between us. We wouldn't have been able to get a taxi back to the airport. Lord knows what would have happened if we'd have missed the flight home. Oh dear. What a journey that was. I mean, now you can fly to Skiathos, but back in the day, you had to fly to Athens, get a coach that went down, and then you had to get the ferry across to Skiathos. And coming back, it was the reverse. And even then, we had to get to London on the coach to get from the London airport. So it was a hell of a journey. Nowadays, you could fly straight to Skiathos from Manchester. Oh, my phone's doing its nut here. What on earth is going on with my phone? What are you doing, Nathan? Sending me all these messages. All right, see you later, Val. I'll see you on Wednesday. Yeah, it's you, Nathan. Behave. I'm not looking at them till later. I hope you have a nice journey back home. And I will see you Wednesday. Trousers in hand. And hopefully my pins if I don't forget them. Well, I've only got 10 thumbs up and 22 people. I must have lost about half of the people that didn't follow me. I had about 40 something people in before. And now there's only 22. Oh dear. Yeah, I'm back. I got cut off. My internet went off, Chris. I did put a note on, but obviously you didn't get it. Saying my internet had gone off. Well, I couldn't come back. You can't restart. That's the only problem with the YouTube. You can't restart from where you left off. It doesn't let you go back in. You have to restart the whole thing all over again. That's one big fault with them, You think that once your internet gets reconnected, you could pick up where you left off. But unfortunately, it doesn't do that. It does if you're uploading a video. When you're uploading a video, you can do that, yeah. Oh, I don't know why the US is so cold and rainy. It's blooming freezing. It's just never warmed up. Down south is a bit better. Down south is a bit better. You know, they're all warmer down there. You know, if you talk to Denise, you know, from Dear Designs, and if you talk to Shan, it's a lot warmer down there. And if you watch Little Drops of Wonderful, she's warmer. But where I am, it's so cold. It's being so close to the sea doesn't help. You know, we get that cold wind off the sea all the time. But the other coast is worse, the east coast. And yet, even in Scotland, they've had better weather than we've had. I don't know why. We're just in a wet and cold place. I mean, my niece keeps telling me it's rainy and cold in Manchester. She went down to London the other day and she said it's much, much warmer down there. And yet we're such a tiny island, you wouldn't think that we would have such differences in temperature, would you, from one end of the island to the other? We're not exactly big, are we? You could fit us all in Texas and lose us all in the middle of Texas, you know. We're not that big. Top to bottom, I don't know how many miles it is from John O'Groats to Land's End, but it's not an awful lot. We're not a big island. This is why I can't understand why everybody wants to come here. Probably because we're so stupid with our blinking benefit system. That's why they all want to come here. If they're a true asylum seeker, they're supposed to stay in the first safe place that they land in, but they don't, do they? They don't stay in France. They don't stay in Germany. They all come here. They must think we're well off. We're not. We're the only ones daft enough to put up with them all. Go and land your dinghy somewhere else. But you're not allowed to say that, you see, because you get accused of being a racist. You say things like that. I'm just fed up with them all coming in. We'll sink in a bit. There'll be too many people standing on Britain. We'll sink. We're falling into the river. We're tiny. We're a small country. We can't deal with all this. We haven't got loads and loads of open space. Go to Australia or somewhere. Go where they've got no people. How about Iceland? Something like that. We are overcrowded in Britain. Never mind. I've done 13 inches. I don't know how much I've got to do to the armhole. Probably at least 14, I think. 840 miles. See, that's what I mean. We're not a big place, are we? 840 miles from top to bottom. Well, that's how big we are. We haven't got room for all these people. We're has to be a sign put up at the port. We're full. You know, like they do on car parks. This car park is full. We should have a sign saying UK is full. Go elsewhere. Can you imagine shoveling all those people into Texas? You know, you wouldn't like it, would you? Not being racist, it's just too many people in one small country. We will sink. If you all jump up and down, we'll be underwater. That's my theory. No, there isn't. There's no benefits for her. Talking about taxing pensioners and stuff like that. People who've paid into the system, it's all a load of, yeah, don't get me started. Gets me so mad when I get riled up about it. I can't even think about it anymore. Oh, they just keep flooding in and flooding in here. To me, it's not a question of what colour they are, what country they come from. It's just a question. There's too many people. Don't care where they come from. Yeah. But these do-gooders, oh, you know, you can't say that, you can't do that. We couldn't all go to their country. I tell you, they wouldn't have us. If we went over there and turned up and said we've got no money, we want benefits, we wouldn't get a sausage. That's what's so unfair about it. You know, people who want to emigrate and that, they're like, no, whoa, you can't come in, whoa, whoa. You know, my friend wanted to emigrate to Australia years ago. No, no, we can't come in. You don't satisfy the criteria, you can't come in. They were both a hard-working couple. They weren't there to go and sponge off the Australian government. But no, they weren't allowed to go in. I think they've gone there now because they've retired and they've got a pension and stuff. I think the rules are different now. They've finally got there now. But they're retirement age now. They're not of working age. Which is so stupid because when they wanted to go about 25 years ago, they were working age and they would have worked and contributed, you know. But no, they didn't fit. They weren't. The criteria wasn't there. They wouldn't let them in. Same with a cousin of mine. wanted to go to America. They had a lot of money, in the background to take with them, and yet no, they weren't given a green card. They couldn't go. Well, they could go, but they couldn't stay. They could only stay a certain amount of time. We nearly went to, well, I didn't want to go. My ex-husband wanted to go to Canada. He had a job with the post office offer in Canada, but my son was 6 weeks old at the time, and I wouldn't go because I didn't want to leave my family. I had postnatal depression. I wasn't very good, and I didn't know where we would be going, for furniture and housing and stuff. And I had a baby, and taking a pram and taking everything for a baby, and he couldn't understand why I didn't want to go. I never regretted it. I never wanted to go. He always held it against me because I wouldn't go. But I just didn't want to go to Canada. Might have been nice in Canada, but I didn't want to go. I think if you want to go, that's different, isn't it? But I just didn't want to go. I was quite happy. And I've never regretted not going to Canada. I don't know whether he has. Maybe he did. I know he held it against me for a long time that I wouldn't go. I always remember we went to see a film at the cinema, the advantages of going and living in Canada. And they kept showing me all this countryside and green and stuff and that. And I'm like, no, I'm a city girl. I don't want to go in the country where there's grass and cows and stuff. If they'd have said, this is your house that you're going to be living in, it'll be furnished, it'll be this, it'll be that. But no, they just didn't. Whether you were expected to find your own place, I don't know. I said to him, you go. You go. See if you like it. But he wouldn't. And besides, I would have needed his money to pay for the mortgage of the house we were in. But I've never regretted not going. I've got relatives out there. But they were born out there. Their parents went out there to live many, many years ago. My cousins are Canadian, I suppose, aren't they? Because they were born there. Ba-ba-da-boo. Nearly up to the armholes on this. I'm still on my first 100 grams. Optimistically, I reached out another ball, optimistically, thinking I was going to use all this 100 grams and crochet. I don't even know what I'm making. I think it'll be a cardigan. I think I need a red cardigan. Don't think I've got one. I think that's one thing that's missing out my wardrobe. I'm still trying to decide what kind of blouse I want. I don't know really. I tend to use grams, although some yarns, wools have got a lot more yardage than others, haven't they? It's very difficult to say, you need so many 100 grams for anything, because I find there's a big difference between how many, how many grams are on things. I was just watching Tracy, the Crochet Crowd. She bought some stuff. It's like big chenille blanket wool stuff that she'd bought while she was out and about. And it didn't say any grams on that. It just told you how many meters were on it. It didn't say, 100 grams, 50 grams. Mind you, because it was so thick and fuzzy, there was hardly any yards on it anyway. So even though it was a whopping big ball, it wouldn't have gone very far. I should have started making a blanket or something with it. I mean, it was about as thick as my finger, the wool, like a velvet chenille stuff she'd bought. And I thought, you'd have to use a very big hook, because if you didn't, you'd get nowhere with that ball. I think it only had something like about 200 yards on it or something, which isn't much if you're going to make a blanket. And the thickness that one was, there's not much else you could make except a blanket. And you know how I feel about blankets. I make a baby one, but that's it. I don't like anything. This is why I don't like making anything for larger size ladies. I know it sounds as though I'm very sizist, but it's just the fact that the pieces are so big. I mean, Sheila's just knitted a cardigan for a guy who's a 54-inch chest. I made one once, a sweater for a woman who was 62 inches. It's like making two blankets and sewing them together. And then she said, can you make the bottom flare out of it? Because my hips are bigger. That's why I don't like making for people. I never get the normal size people. I always get the really big ones that want me to make things. So I kind of lost the will to live, halfway through all that. I need to set up my Ko-fi account, don't I, one of these days? If I can find out what my password is. Can't remember. Can't remember. What have I done now? What have I done now, Nathan? Talking about big ladies. I know. I've been accused of being sizist before. But it's difficult to make things for big people. Especially when they don't want to pay any more. Even though it's going to take you twice as long and take twice as much wool, but they don't want to pay you anymore. Yeah, there's no rush, Jill. No rush. I'm too lazy to take any photographs at the moment because the weather's dire. I haven't got a blank wall to take photos against, and I haven't got anywhere nice in the garden to take Anne Boleyn out there. I don't have my lovely mannequin anymore, and I certainly can't model things. I can't stand up long enough. It takes me all the time to stand to take photographs. The last time I tried to take photographs, I had to take a chair because I can't stand. It is funny, but it's true, Nathan. You can't advertise that you're going to crochet orders, but I'll only take them up to a size 48 bust or something, You can't do that. it just put me off my crocheting. It really did, Nathan. It just did. You know, people would say things like I'm 2XL, but what they don't realise is 2XL in America is like our 5XL over here. You know, everything's different sizes. Oh dear, it's nearly getting the witchy now. I'm getting tired now. I was hoping I would have crocheted this 100 grams up. I nearly have, but not quite. Thought I would get maybe up to the armpits. I'm probably nearly there. Nearly at the armholes. And as usual, I didn't write down how many I chained on for the back. I've got notebooks galore. I've got notebooks coming out my ears. Do I write anything down in them? No. Do I write what size I've done? What pattern I've used? How many balls it took? No. So when people ask me, which pattern did you use? I haven't got a flipping clue. I've stopped using Ravelry because I got fed up of people asking me for free printouts of patterns. I wouldn't mind, but they didn't even say please. Some people just put pattern. And I used to think, where's your manners? Could you not say, is there a pattern for this, please? Or, you know, do you have a pattern? Do you know the number? But pattern. I thought that was so rude. I got in terrible trouble for saying that one time. I said, if anybody's going to ask me for a pattern, can they ask me, please? Can they ask me, is it for sale or is there a pattern? But not just write pattern. I thought that was the height of rudeness. So I've stopped putting my projects on there stopped about 4 or 5 years ago. I've not put anything new on there at all. Because I got fed up of being asked for free PDFs and can you not print it off? Or I can't afford a Doris Chan book. Can you not just print me the pattern off? I went, no, I can't. I said, it's copyright. I can't do things like that. And in any case, with Doris Chan, you cannot just print off one pattern. She skips about from one page to another page, and she skips about with her abbreviations. So you have to print off nearly the whole book just to print off one pattern. And I'm not prepared to do that. I'm sure she wouldn't want me to do that. She's a designer, isn't she? You can still get her books. They're not out of print completely. You can still buy them. Admittedly, you might have to have a second-hand copy, but there are still pattern books around. I would never ask anybody for a free pattern. I would ask them, do they know the pattern number? I would ask them, is there a link to the pattern? But I would never ask anybody for a free copy of anything. When I say to people I bought it from Etsy or whatever, if you look on Etsy, you'll find it. Then you get another message saying, can you show me the page it's on, or can you show me the link? And I'm thinking, you want me to go and look all through Etsy's patterns, do you, to find it? Because you can't be bothered, yeah? Everybody wants... No, they've no respect. I must confess, I do get annoyed at paying $10 for a pattern when it's not very well written. I don't want to have 34 pages of pattern for 10 quid when it's just page after page after page of pictures. But the actual pattern is so badly written that even with the pictures, it's hard to do it. That's what upsets me, is I refuse to pay $8 and $10 for a pattern. If they made them simpler and they made them for less than $5, then they'd sell more patterns. Not everybody's got $10 to splash out on a pattern that when you come and get it and you come to read it, you can't do the flipping thing anyway because it's that badly written. I mean, people sometimes have asked me, which pattern did you use? And I'll say, I'm not promoting it. I'm not telling you, because there were so many mistakes on it. I've practically rewritten the pattern that I am not promoting that pattern. I'm not telling you to go and buy it. Because to me, you know, I'm sorry I paid for it. My main thing is that people always want me to do a tutorial. And I'll say, I can't do a tutorial. It's not my pattern. Also, I don't have the camera equipment. I don't have an overhead gantry to watch my hands while I'm doing anything. And I'm not prepared to pay, because I earn nothing, as you know, on YouTube. I earn next to nothing. So I'm not going, going to waste about how many hours of my time doing a tutorial when you don't get any money for it. Duke is asking to go out. It's not Cerberus, yeah. So I ain't going to do any tutorials now. I will share a pattern with you if it's anything I can show you. But you won't get a tutorial now. I shall leave that up to Sheila. She can do them. She can do the tutorials. She's got an overhead thingy-majiggle. I can't even edit. That's how bad I am. I can't even edit. I could do with going to night school, except they don't exist anymore, night schools, to learn how to edit and link videos together and put pictures in, and I can't do any of that. That's why you only ever get a live video from me, or a video that's filmed all in one go. I can't link bits together or put a photograph. Here's a photograph and put it here. I can't do that. So you got no chance of getting getting a tutorial from me. Not a chance in the world. Yeah. They put ads in. Well, I'm going to be going to Beddybo's in a few minutes. Take me painkillers. I was going to say I'll have a lie-in on Sunday, but I had a lie-in this morning, actually. It was about 10 o'clock before I got up this morning. Dukes of Pyrenees, oh gosh. There was a dog on the seafront the other day. It must have been a Great Dane or something. It was like a pony. Huge it was. Bit big for a house, aren't they? It would take up the sofa on its own, you know. Oh dear. Yeah, it's 23:51. I'll finish my row. It's nearly time for the witching hour. As I say, I'm tired. I'll watch Sheila's video before I go to bed. There's a couple of other videos that I need to watch, but not tonight. I'll watch them in the morning. Tomorrow there'll be the alternative aging and the middle-aged minx. They'll have their videos up tomorrow. They always put them up on a Sunday. So I've got those two to watch when I get up and have my breakfast. Nearly finished. That's all I've got left. Of 100 gram. Yeah, I like Sunday mornings. I've got something to watch. Trouble is, sometimes I watch them on the TV and then I can't leave a comment. And I always forget to go back and put comments. And I've got to answer the comments that I got from yesterday's video and the comments that I may get from today's video. I need to do that tomorrow. Got a lot of things to do tomorrow, haven't I? Plus put all the things in a bag I'm supposed to be taking to the knit club while somebody helps me to turn up my trousers to the right level. And then maybe I'll be able to sew them up. I don't mind hand stitching them when I'm watching the telly. It's just that I can't pin them up. But I did say I wanted to finish this 100 grams off, and I almost have. So I've done well tonight. Done well. Didn't she do well? Didn't she do well? Yeah, I'll probably leave this at the side for stitching up. I don't like joining yarn in the middle. In the middle of a row. And you have to darn knots in. So they don't show and they don't start poking through to the other side, yeah. At least my back's relaxed while I've been on my heat pad. Right, I think I've got to the end of the row. I think that's about the same as the other side. That's the thing when you're doing yeah, that's the same. When you do things without a pattern, if you're doing things rack at thee, as my dad would call it. Rack of the eye, rack at thee. In other words, you do it by looking at it. Do you know he was brilliant at that? He would look at something and he would go and cut a piece of wood and he'd be right. He'd be right. Very seldom he got it wrong. He never measured anything. He always did it rack at thee. I'm a bit the same. When I'm crocheting, I don't measure. I just do things. Well, I do measure, but I do things that I think that looks right. That looks okay. But then I don't write things down and I don't remember how many chain I've chained on in the first place. Yeah, I've got that much. That won't do a row. So I'll put a stitch clip in it and then I can use it to stitch up with. It'll stitch the side seam up when I'm ready that. So, right people, I'm going to be going now and I will see you all later. And sorry about the interruption. Sorry that half of you didn't get back to me. Ain't my fault. So blinking whatever it is. Blinking internet cutting off. So I'm going to go and leave you all and I will speak to you all very soon. Night night, Linda. Don't forget to tell me next time you come to Fleetwood or Cleveley's or wherever it is. And then maybe we can have a coffee somewhere. Good night, everybody. Tell Jill if she comes back, I've gone. Bye. Night, everybody. Bye-bye.